What's up, people? Welcome back to Light Source Engraving. Or if it's your first time here, thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Hit the bell. It helps the channel, it helps the algorithm, helps me. Everybody wins. Because this is good stuff and people are going to want to see it. All right. Do you know what a macro is? Have you ever heard of a macro? Have you ever used a macro? Now I'm talking about macros in computing. Well, if you're unfamiliar or have never used one in LightBurn, you're in for a treat. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm also going to show you a macro that if you're using a rotary and your device firmware is not set up to keep the motors locked while you're using your rotary, and after you finish the job on your rotary, you know how it kind of just freewheels around, you can spin your cup and you're like, well, I can't run the job again, it's screwed up the alignment, so I'm pretty much done. I'm going to show you how to fix that too. So basically what we'll do is set up a macro so that the motors will stay locked, and then when we're using our rotary, once the job's finished, it won't freewheel, it won't spin. Then if you need to run it again, you don't have to worry about accidentally bumping it or it's shifting. Then you can just run your job again. And then I'll show you a macro to turn that setting off so that the stepper motors aren't constantly getting current and overheating or causing any other issues, because you want to make sure we do that. So I'll discuss that in just a moment. So let's just jump into LightBurn and get started. Today I'll be demonstrating these macros with the LaserMatic Mark II. If you own a LaserMatic Mark II, if you go to the Move Console window, or if not Move, the Console window, and if it's not showing, just go to Window and Console and click it, and it'll show up. So let's say I close it and I want to get it back. Window, Console, and there it is. The LaserMatic ships with two pre-installed macros, Turn On Air Assist and Turn Off Air Assist. Well, what exactly is a macro? So in computer programming, a macro, short for macro instruction, is taken from the Greek language, meaning long or large or a lot. And it's basically a rule or pattern that specifies how a certain input should be mapped to a replacement output. Now think of it like a recipe. If your macro is make pizza, then all the instructions that one command triggers is a step-by-step order tasks to perform in order to complete making a pizza. Lay the dough out, add sauce, add cheese, add pepperoni, add pie. No one should be eating pineapple on a pizza. It does not belong. Okay, I'm just kidding. You can eat whatever you want on your pizza. Let me show you the macros that ship with the LaserMatic. If you hover over it and you right click, you'll see it says Turn On Air Assist M7. Turn Off Air Assist M9. So that's just going to turn on and off your air assist. Well, I have a couple additional macros that I've already added here. Okay, so I'm going to go to the LaserMatic, and we have the two default macros that are already in place. If you do have a laser like the LaserMatic that supports the $28 command to change the frequency of the laser, this is a handy place to use a macro, because we can set the macro up to turn on our steel engraving setting in the frequency, and then we can set one up to turn it off. So all we have to do is click a button and we don't have to type in the console. So let's set that up now. So let's call this macro steel. Just right click and it'll give you the option to edit. And it's actually already in here where I was playing with it earlier. The macro, that is. So $28, then $28 equals 1,000, and then $28 again, and that will turn on our steel engraving settings. Now let's call this one normal engrave. So we do $28 and $28 equals 10,000. That's our normal engraving frequency. And $28 equals 10,000. There. Whoops. I don't need to repeat it. Just $28. So I'm going to turn on the LaserMatic. It'll be loud. You'll see that it's going to home on startup. And I'm going to show you another macro that's I think is handy. Anyway, just remember that is $28 equals 1,000. That's in the center. Then $28 above and below. So now let's watch the console. I'm going to click Show All so it tells us exactly what's going on. 1 second. This thing's going to reset itself here. All right, now we're connected. Now I'm going to click Steel. You can see it did the $28 equals 10,000, and then we changed it to 1,000. And if I hit Normal Engrave, you'll see that it goes from 1,000 back to 10,000. So by adding that $28 with nothing after it, that allows us to see in the console what our frequency is set before and then what it's set after we run the macro. So it's a quick double check to make sure we're getting the right frequency setting. I've also noticed that I can get a slightly different engraving on steel if I use a 2000. So I'm going to put this in a steel 2K. So it'll be $28. And $28 equals 2,000. And then $28. Now, if I hit steel 2K, we'll see that it says that it was 10,000. Now it's 2,000. Then I'm going to take it back to normal engrave so I don't forget. Let's program in a fun macro. This is going to be called Home and Center. So you can use a macro to just click a button. It'll automatically send your laser to one particular position, much how the presets are used in the Move console, like the presets for your rotary. What we're going to need is a $, capital H for home, then $J, capital J, and then for the J command, we have to tell it what's going on. So we have G21, G90. Now we input our X and Y coordinates where we want the laser to move. So there's X 205, Y 200. Then we specify our speed. And I'm going to use the speed of 10,000. Hit OK. Now I'm going to click Home and Center, and you'll be able to see what happens. And that sent the laser right to the center of the workspace. Now I'm going to zoom in here on the console, and I'm going to use the location tool, and I'm going to move the laser head over to this quadrant, roughly in the center. Okay, there we got it. It wasn't showing all, so make sure Show All is selected. I'm going to move it back over. And you'll see the format that you use to input the coordinate and have it move. So this is G21, G90, and that's 301, 304, and F60,000. So it's moving pretty quick between these points. At least that way you get to see what will make your machine move if you just use the location, the little map icon, and point your laser head to go somewhere, and you'll see the format that your machine is using to move your coordinates. Then you can adjust that to center. And with that, we have covered my home and center macro. Let's run it again. All right, now we're going to go for another useful macro. I call this one, I'm going to replace this turn on air assist because I don't use it. This is my duplicate LaserMatic device file anyway. But I call this one lock, stepper, and then, so I don't forget, restart. I have to restart the laser so the firmware reboots before this command will take effect. And it is $1 equals 255. And what this will do is turn on the steppers. So the whole time the laser's on, the steppers are actually receiving current, and that locks them in position so that they won't move. Because you'll be able to see right now, I'm going to move the gantry. Now imagine if that was the rotary spinning around. That's not good. I don't like my rotary to spin whenever a job is completed in case I have to run it again. So let's run this macro, lock stepper. You'll see that it did input that value there. Now we need to turn the LaserMatic off. Let the firmware reboot. All right, we've now moved back to the center. And I can't wiggle this by hand. See, that is locked in place. This is also helpful if you're adjusting your focus and you don't want the laser to move out of position. With those steppers locked, all you have to do is loosen your screw, raise it up, down, whatever you need to do, and it's not going to move around on you. Very important when using the rotary. The rotary will not spin with the steppers engaged. So let me turn it off, plug in the rotary, and I'll show you with the rotary plugged in. Imagine we just finished our job. This rotary is not spinning, you see? It takes some effort to actually get it to spin. So it will sit there, and like I have to turn it with some force to get it to spin. So it'll hold your cup or whatever you're working on in place. That way if you need to run the job again, you can. Now the next important thing to do, if your laser is going to be setting for a while and you're leaving it on, we need to turn that lock stepper function off. We don't want those stepper motors to overheat since they're constantly receiving a current. So either one, turn your LaserMatic off, or two, set up a macro so that the next time you turn it on, the stepper motors will not be locked. So I call this stepper motor unlock steppers, and then again you have to restart it. This is $1 equals 25. All right. Right now steppers are locked. It's not moving. I'm going to run steppers, unlock steppers, restart. You'll see that it did input it into the console. And see, it's still locked. So once we restart, off, back on. Now I'm going to go and try to spin the rotary, move the gantry. You You see how easy that was? In summary, if you're going to use the lock stepper, make sure that you either do one of two things. One is turn the laser off when you're not using it. If it's going to sit there for 30 minutes, go ahead and turn it off. Or number two, run the unlock steppers macro, power cycle the LaserMatic, and then it'll be good to sit there for a half hour. And let's run home and center one more time, just because it's fun. And there you have it, a quick introduction to macros, what a macro is, and how to use it within LightBurn. I think we covered very functional macros. Like I said, the LaserMatic ships with the turn air assist on and turn air assist off macros. Those don't work while the machine is actually running a job, so I don't really find them that useful. However, I do find the lock steppers and unlock steppers to be extremely useful, especially when using the rotary. Or if there's something that I'm needing to, let's say, run a layer and then pause, adjust the focus, and then continue running. I do not want that to miss any steps to get out of alignment. So having those stepper motors locked keeps it from moving around. And then, let's see, it covered the steel 2K, and the normal engrave, so that it can get you engraving steel and right back to normal engraving without having to type a bunch of stuff. And it's just there at your reach within one click from here on out. But that's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments if you've used a macro or will be using these macros, and if you found them useful or if you didn't find them useful. Either way, leave a comment below. It helps the algorithm and it's free. But enough of that. This video is over. Thank you, patrons, for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you, channel members. I appreciate you. And most importantly, everyone, thank you very much and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.